as the lady was discussing with me, that a few friends in the corporation she had been introduced. She had been trying to introduce the new youth. So they asked her who is the leader of the new presentation, and who should they use as the focal call it a picture photograph that they have to place their attention on, and so on and so forth. I try to explain to her that on this part we are not taught, or we don't place so much emphasis on all those kind of the corporation's way of placing attention on the photograph. So I discussed with her at length. So I am, as I said earlier, I am putting it as a question to Duane now. Should we place so much emphasis on most of these photographs in the outer as we used to do in the corporation?
Okay, hey Bulk, why don't you go ahead and mute, and Charles, and yes, thank you for asking that. And I'm going to, for those of you that don't know, the definition of the corporation, which is in the books with a K, because it's Cal Corporation. It's Cronies Corporation, which is Joni Klemp, who really owns the corporation, and her puppet master, Harry, which I know them very well. But that's what I call the corporation, which is what Paul started, which is eckankar, which was taken over. And for those of you that read Book 9, it's like the world here we're living in. It's all okay. It's all part of the wake-up. It's all part of the fun time here to see more and recognize the all is. So it's all okay. And yes, no. Yes and no. And that is that no, we're not doing what Darwin and Harry have done for themselves. No, it's not all about the me thing. It's about the whole of life, and that is that the pictures that Ava and I create together are references, not realities. There becomes a difference. So the real guides are always here and now. The pictures are references. They're not realities. They are references to the all is, the isness life is. And this is a position to be recognized. It is not a literal position. You will not figure it out literally. No way. You cannot figure out the whole of life. And the idea that creation is life, no, creation is a simulator, and it's all okay. And once you learn to see through it, you will see that it's all okay. So, yes, no. Yes and no again. In other words, yes, we have the images, and they are to provide references. And so it's like babies playing with toys and blocks and funny little things and their pacifier. These are things that they go through, but eventually they leave them behind. And so as we go through the process of creation, we will leave these things behind because there's a bigger and better experience to recognize what the isness life is, because there are no restrictions. But we must go through restrictions first to be able to see the cause and effect of things, to be able to see ourselves and recognize what we do, because we are creating whatever. So, and then eventually face that and then get beyond it. So everything is fine. Nothing is negated. Even what has taken place in the world, which I've said many times, it's all fine. But at the same time, we can step up, make better choices, and do something while we're here. So that's the idea too. So we cannot save the planet. There's no such thing, because there's so many agreeing not to save themselves or the planet. They want the demise. They're welcome to it. They think that the planet Earth is a great lifestyle. Well, they have a right to that. They can stay here as long as they want. So this is why there's very few of us, but now it's spreading all over the world. We really do make sense with everything, and we do have the real connection to the real universes, where other people, basically, they look to the gods of man who are helping to destroy the planet, them and all their associates and agencies. So, yes, Ebok, thank you for asking the question. This starts it off for Charles to ask more and see what's going on here. But yeah, again, everything that we create is a reference. The new presentation has its part in this world, but on the real side, you start to see what's going on and the projects, etc. These are references for people to better understand. It's a learning process, so eventually they have the opportunity, more so than before. We have the best references to eventually recognize this isness where you totally free yourself from all cause and effect, karma, and restrictions. But again, most people, all of us, have been taught restrictions through lifetimes, thinking that, oh, gee, restrictions are good, rules, regulations, being dumbed down and slaves and whatever in human farmingville here. Well, that's fine. People make choices. They want to be here. That's okay. We respect the free will of others, but you can wake up if you want to. But as the world is continually deciding its demise, well, we got to let those people do what they do. But in the meantime, we can make better choices and have a fun adventure doing it. So yes, Eboke, we are creating the great references for everybody. And no, we are all free beings of light. We are all real and equal. There is no higher or lower or who is this or that. I'm just doing my part and sharing what I'm doing. And as I see everyone step up, I put everyone before me because you know what? It's your time. It's your time to be wonderful, get real, and get on with this adventure. And as we support each other, okay, we are supported by the whole of life and the real guides, which is so cool because everybody else isn't. They're basically supported by the reptilians. So if you want to belong to the Democratic and Republican Party, good luck, because it's all reptilian as an example. Have fun with that. Yes, go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, thank you, Duane, for that answer about the photos. I think made it very clear that their references are not realities. I think this is a very clear-cut answer I've got. Yeah, I want to add to what Abiok has said, and that many Nigerians are stepping up now. I have a couple of them on Facebook who have made appointments with me, directed by Kelsey or Eva, yeah. And one of them was very scandalized today. He asked me when he heard about the new presentation, about Duane, about the new song. So he asked, but why Harold had not made this clear to them? Why the knowledge has been, knowledge of the new song has been kept hidden. The members of the corporation, he actually told me that he was a corporation member and he wanted to know more. He was really shocked that they don't know this. And so I told him that the new song replaced the Hue in 2001. And I told him some few other things about, he asked why Harold has not talked about Duane to them. I said, no, the handing over was never done. The announcement was never made, and for obvious reasons, and that he should just continue reading the new books and doing the new song. And then I gave him Abiok's address. I gave him some other, he said he was in the Lagos area, but right now he's in the Delta State. So he's going to hook up with others there. I got two guys from Nigeria this week, and they are all very enthusiastic. So I think it's a great moment for Nigeria coming up. So just what Abiok should know, that he will soon have so many people calling on him and other new friends there for asking a lot of questions. Okay, now I want to ask some questions to Duane. Now, when you listen to some people talk, you have the impression that the perception of life as an isness seems to have penetrated people's minds. You hear statements like that people often make, like don't live in the past, move on, let bygones be bygones, which all indicate a willingness to forget about the past and just be now. Now, what I want to ask is, could life have renew itself? That is, could society eventually have been aware of the isness life is without the advent of the Numan? Could life have upgraded itself without a Numan to articulate the concept of the is?
Okay, so that's the question?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so let's see if people understand it, but it's very simple. What makes sense? Again, that's always the focus, and that is, it's not about me, but it's the appearance actually of what is recognized. So again, I'm doing my part to present what I see and what I'm shown, etc., doing the best I can in this realm, because it's a very hard place to provide anything. We're just mainly dealing with rocks here. Okay, everything is from rocks, and so we put together things to try and struggle a lifestyle here, lifetime after lifetime. So providing a reference to something that's so indifferent, etc., yet it supports everything. Okay, everything is supported by this reality, and what's so cool is that yes, there is a renewal, which I call the new nowness, which I wanted to give a title to it because it's fun, because it is always new and it always now, and this is a recognition that people are starting to see. It's not something that has traditionally come from a past in creation, but it has always been now, and to recognize it and see it as such. This is what's the best part of it, because it is a true completeness when you recognize it. And yes, in some way, there has to be something created as a reference for it. So it's like coming to a street, a cross street, four-way section where many times they first start with 4 stop signs. And as society creates itself as an example, this is just an example, and that is that, eventually people will question, well, am I to stop or do I just keep going? And after a while you realize, gee, if I keep going, I'm probably going to crash into somebody else. So they put up stop signs, don't they? 4 sides, and it says 4-way stop. So this is a reference for people to better understand what's going on. And so the same with what I'm providing here, and that is because for the time that exists now, this opportunity, which you really don't see in history, and if you do, it's hidden, and also, the reference of Harold Klemp, having his position as it is, no, he is not going to expose this going on, because again, it's all about himself. And besides, Joan Klemp owns the corporation. She did the takeover. That's in book 9. It's very obvious, but that's the fun part. It's a James Bond, Indiana Jones adventure. This is all part of it. It's all okay. Just like the reptilians and the governments and everything else, the Orion Queen, which we're going over. We're really, as I said in the books, I'm rewriting history. It's not what people think. There's a lot more to it, and the best part is that it is all reference to wake up and see a lot more and eventually free yourself. So, again, with what we're doing and presenting, this is so cool. So this nowness, this isness, has always been new and now it's just simply being exposed. for people. And the reference part is very important. And that is that for lifetimes we've made this our reality, our relationships and all these things, emotional entanglements, dramas, etc. We've been married and been the child and the parents many times. We've gone through this recycling, and I'm writing a new Facebook right now group called Your Eternal Struggle, and which it really is to this point to where, you know, we've come through these relationships and they're really our fake family, you might say. I know that sounds a little hard, but it's not meant to be. Nothing is negated, but really this isn't our real family, you might say. We'll just kind of use that term. Our real family is this life is, and we come through these relationships, but we get stuck with these things here. We get stuck with them lifetime after lifetime. And it's not that you give up these things, no, but you decide to be real and make sense of them or not. And so someone has to mute here, Val.
Trying.
Val has to mute here, yeah. And so,
Trying.
oh, you just throw your phone out the window, Val, it'll work.
Can't just oh, jeez.
So as we begin to better understand what's going on, our relationships, and this is very important because we struggle with these things here. We struggle with a lot of things, and it's not necessary to do so. So, you know, the questions that you have and what we're going through here, Charles, yes, they're very important. Yes.